In March 2023, at the gates of the AZC Wageningen, LGBT+ refugees protested against the inhuman treatment of them in all AZCs in the Netherlands. LGBT+ refugees in the camps are faced day by day with homophobia, insults, threats, aggression and physical violence from the other refugees. Not infrequently they feel the manifestation of homophobia towards them from the camp's staff also. At the same time, people don't receive protection from the COA employees and the police too. The impetus for this protest was the suicide of Hina Zakharova, committed a week earlier on February 27 in the Drachten camp. Hina is a young trans woman who was not provided with the necessary medical care at the AZC, and she, being in a state of despair and hopelessness, saw no other way out of this situation. LGBT+ refugees want to draw the attention of the authorities to the problems in the camps and make them visible.
We're the LGBT community. We arrived from Russia because in our country we felt no safety. Right now we're here because we need a safe place. Right now we don't have any choice because people in this camp right now have problems with physical violence, with sexual harassment, and all these people not feel safety here. COA ignoring all our words, all our complaints, even police don't want to help us in these problems. On example, 2 weeks ago we had problems with our neighbors. These people kicked my boyfriend 2 times in a day. It was normal for them. Sometimes called him with bad words. Sometimes tried to kick us in our room, kicked in our walls. Even sometimes they groped for these actions. When we told COA about this, they just told us, we can help you, just go to the police. When we was in the police station just wrote this on a list, and after this nothing happened. We just want to have the same procedure like another people. We really deserve normal human rights. We want to feel safety here. We need protection from COA, from police, from IND. Why another people, straight people, have a fast procedure only on a list, and we must wait 2 years, 3 years, and after this we must confirm our orientation. How we must do it, we don't know what we need to do. Right now we even can't take a BSN for a job. Maybe something changed in medicine, healthcare program. Maybe they will protect us more. Because even right now, every day we have problems with physical violence, and right now we just want to feel safety.
We have problems and we need safety. We need protection. LGBT group of refugees is one of the most vulnerable group. But all previous experience shows us that changes are not coming.
I'm president of Shout Wageningen, and Shout Wageningen is the local LGBT organization in Wageningen. We are not allowed to do our work in the camp anymore since 2018. Well, they say only COA can deal with this kind of problems. I totally disagree with that, because we are local. We can have a very fast response if somebody needs to talk with somebody, and we can move in right away. And with COA it takes a few days, and you have to go from Wageningen to Arnhem, or nowadays even to Nijmegen, to have a talk, and then you're out in the street again, and that's it. That's the only help you get. And I think that's not really help. The problems differ a little bit, but every camp has problems with the LGBT refugees. It doesn't have any human dignity anymore, so this has to change. And the Netherlands really have to take care that it does change.
All AZCs are different. They're all small, you can say small kingdoms. They all have their own rules, almost identical, but there are differences. But this is so difficult because we know that the majority of people staying in an AZC disrespect LGBTs. In fact, it's the discrimination where you come from, why you were fleeing your country. you see the same things happening in your AZC, even if the COA tries to make it as safe as possible. They almost can't, and they notice. All the time there are things happening of which we say, okay, when is it enough? When is it enough? And all the time the question also comes back, why not an AZC for only LGBT refugees? In 2016, in May, we had our first meeting with the junior minister. It's very complicated to get a meeting with this the person in charge from our government, and we discussed already like having an AZC for only LGBT, because that's the most it's the most logic way to have a safe space for only for them. But we came up also with a sort of compromise, like at least respect groups, make LGBT units. And in May 2016 we discussed this with a junior minister who was not interested in the situation at all. And until now, still, every time when there is an incident, every time we're writing a letter, we still mention at least make policy on basis of this, that there is a structural, that LGBTs are a structural part of all AZCs. Like there is, if there is an emergency, they always have an emergency room. It's also what we discussed with them, because it wasn't. LGBT units should be also part of a structural thing, but until now the government or our junior minister says no, we don't want to have that LGBT refugees get into an own AZC, because an AZC must be a reflection of our society. And our junior minister says that in our society we don't separate this kind of groups. But then you can also say, why is there a pink and blue? Pink and blue is also from the police, and it's especially because within the police force, which is also part of the same ministry, they can solve this kind of problems much easier between LGBT and LGBT. The same thing is also the discussion that you come here for protection, and this is protection on basis of ground rule number 1, which says that everybody is equal and discrimination is not allowed. That means that as long as even the junior minister is saying, no, I don't want to have this LGBT units, he knows about the numbers. He knows about last year more than 500 reports about unsafe situations. It's going on, going on, going on, going on. And as long as he is not making policy on basis of this, we can even say he's not following on our ground, our constitution law number 1, because you come here as a refugee, as a vulnerable refugee, you ask here for protection, but you also have rights. And these rights are also that get protection. And if there is not enough protection, in 2018, we managed already in the House of Parliament, if there is not enough protection, start an AZC for LGBT refugees, your own. And until now, the Dutch government doesn't want to do this. But we can ask ourselves, what more do you need? What more? The COA will not always cooperate. It's funny what is happening today, that they allow you with rainbow flags even in your AZC, because normally this is a form of protest they don't want to have. Now we have 2 people who committed suicide from our community. Those signals are very strong. It's again a wake-up call. In 2020 we had 70 reports about incidents. Now it's 500. In this report, we feel unsafe. We also made a questionnaire because we wanted to know how big is the discrimination. And it came up until numbers of more than 80% who get discriminated in their camps. And it was unbelievable that this was happening. Also unbelievable that there was never done a research like this. And with the death now of 2 LGBTQ+ refugees again, I made this weekend a new questionnaire, even with more questions, even also about medical care, the lack of it, not getting access, but also if you are going to make a report at the police, what's the follow-up? Can you reach the police even? Because I still see that some AZC's, the COA, is not helping you a lot. Or we had now a case, for example, in Ter Apel, where the police is even saying to you, if you want to report it, solve it yourself, which is horrible, of course, because if you get haunted, if you get discriminated, if your things are stolen, and the police is saying, solve it yourself, come on, where's the protection? We bring out these signals the whole time to the COA or to the GZA responsible. I think also people from GZA should be much more aware about all the problems with trans, because their problems are from LGBT, the whole community, their problems are from trans are much more complicated. In 2 years we have the second one, trans refugee who committed suicide, and as you can even make a compare that both of them, they had already problems in their native country. This should also be at the moment that they go to GZA and they analyze who someone is, they should be much more careful on this, and also to figure out, hey, is there a chance that someone is that there will be happening something? We are not the experts on this. We do all what we can, and it's the same for the people who are surrounded her. They also don't have the knowledge for this. That makes it for all of us so difficult. During the memorial, I said that everybody is full of questions, and it's easy to say, hey, this organization did not do what this. That's incorrect. What I said also is that we need to look at the countries where they were fleeing from, because that's the basis where it went wrong. That they were just not accepted, and they were not treated equal, that they suffered a lot, that they were building up traumas, and that they were also trying to commit suicide on reasons of the situation there. I wish I could have done more for her, but the only thing is what we can say now is like, reach out, talk to others, and don't be ashamed. Because when I saw all the messages in our groups, when they saw that she committed suicide, I was shocked. Like almost everybody has the same problems, but not getting enough access to medical care.